Let's bring in celebrity and royal reporter Kinsey Schofield. Kinsey, let's talk about Harry. Tom Quinn has claimed that Prince Harry was reduced to tears when he heard King Charles had bestowed a new military honour on his brother Prince William. Surely not. He wouldn't. Why would he be in tears over something like this? He should be overjoyed that his brother's being honoured.
Well, allegedly, this is the same department that Prince Harry served under. So this, this would be a burn to Prince Harry. I'm sure that all he has to do is log on to Zoom and talk to his local California therapist after dealing with something like this. But they do feel like this might have been an intentional snub, considering the fact that Prince Harry had just landed in the UK when the palace announced it. And the palace did expect for Prince Harry to land in the UK that day. I think that if he's a man that's willing to cry over something like this, I wouldn't want him under, as my leader anyway. But particularly interesting headline coming from Tom Quinn about Prince Harry in tears.
Yes, and this may have left him in tears as well, because we know King Charles declined to see Harry when they were both in London last week, but he did find time to meet up with David Beckham, according to the Times. They said the former England football captain met the King for a private meeting. There were no pictures, there was no press about it. But they did note that the report of the meeting could make uncomfortable reading for the Duke of Sussex. You don't say, Kinsey.
Exactly. Well, first of all, I want to stress that David Beckham waited in line for over 12 hours to pay respects to Queen Elizabeth II after she passed. Prince Harry refused to see her days before her death. So I think that that's important to point out, that the Beckhams clearly have much more respect for the monarchy than the Markles. But also there have been reports recently that statement that Prince Harry released about the king not being able to see him was not necessarily the honest truth. Friends of King Charles came out in his defense over the weekend, saying that not only was the king willing to see him, but was never formally approached about a meeting. The king authorized Prince Harry the possibility to stay at one of the royal residences, and Prince Harry turned it down ultimately and opted to stay at a hotel. So interesting new developments coming out of there. Maybe we were giving Prince Harry too much credit by taking his word.
Yes, we should have learned our lesson by now. Now, let's talk about the Nigerian tour that's underway. Harry and Meghan, I don't know if this is a royal tour. They're not working royals. Are they? Well, they're not politicians or pop stars. What exactly are they doing touring Nigeria in the first place, Kinsey?
Allegedly, they're courting Nigeria for a future Invictus Games, but it's just all a bunch of PR. Right. I mean, you've seen Meghan's dramatic wardrobe changes throughout it, her insisting that this is her country. Thank you for welcoming me to my country. Now, 43% of Nigerians are living below the poverty level. Another 25 are vulnerable to falling in that category. There are horrible stories that come out of Nigeria about, the mutilation of little girls, child brides, and abusive child labor. So they don't care about Harry and Meghan. They don't care what Meghan Markle's wearing or that she's wearing the jewelry of her deceased mother-in-law. They just don't want to be forced to marry the Harry next door neighbor at the age of 12. So it just shows you the complete lack of self-awareness that Harry and Meghan have.
Absolutely, and I've got a feeling that we're not going to hear any of those issues you mentioned raised. The treatment meted out to young girls, the child brides, all of that. I can't imagine it's going to be something that Meghan is going to be advocating. She did call it my country. She's revealed she's 43% Nigerian, and she was very grateful to be home.
What they define as a Nigerian woman is brave, resilient, courageous, powerful, beautiful. And every single moment that I hear anyone so far talk about what it means to be a Nigerian woman, it is the most flattering thing to be in that company, to be in your company. So yes, it's been really eye-opening and humbling to be able to know more about my heritage and to be able to know this is just the beginning of that discovery.
There you go, Kinsey. She's brave and resilient and all those wonderful qualities, but not everyone is happy that Harry and Meghan are in town.
Look, Nigerians are dying. Everybody is frustrated over economic hardship, and Prince Harry is coming all the way from British Dynasty to visit Nigeria. See, let me tell you, if you seek my own opinion and other people's opinion, in fact, conduct opinion poll is a wasting of resources.
To me, it's not a welcome idea. That's the truth.
You mentioned Meghan's fashion choices. She's drawn some criticism for the frequent outfit changes and some of the fashion statements. Is she trying to, I don't know, have her Diana fantasy with this tour? Because we know, we've heard from her childhood friends that she was a fan.
Well, yeah, and I just want to stress, Thomas Markle said he was surprised to find out that Meghan Markle was 43% Nigerian and said she's 100% Californian. And there are still a lot of people that remember when Meghan's Hollywood headshot said that she was 100% Caucasian as well. So you do you, girl, whatever. I do think that she is trying to look like a royal again. I think that the ultimate objective is to win that respect back that they've lost and they've become a joke in not only the United States, but in the UK. I imagine it's similar in Australia. And so they need the glitz, the glam, these photos that remind people of why they fell in love with them in the first place. But unfortunately, they've fallen too far. We're not going to forget about their behavior to their employees and the dying Queen Elizabeth and Prince Philip. I think that people have made up their minds about them.
Oh, indeed. But Meghan was eager to praise her husband for being smart after he spoke to Nigerian school children about mental health and how it's okay to have a bad day. I've got to say, though, Kinsey, this is all a bit too much. It's a bit too rich because you mentioned some of the challenges in this country. They're real challenges. Here you've got this pampered prince telling kids who have got all sorts of issues he could never even fathom, and he's telling them about hardship.
Right. And my favorite part is when she gets up, she grabs the mic and she says, "Do you see why I married him?" And everybody cheers. And then she says, "It's so inspiring because he speaks the truth." Rita, he would not know the truth if it bit him on his frostbitten todger. Like the irony. I mean, these people are insane. I just like who is standing near them going, "Oh, that's going to be amazing." Absolutely, say that. You know, they have 2 brand new publicists. Fire them immediately.
Yeah, really? No, you created all sorts of imagery there, Kinsey. That's disturbing. So let's move on to something else. There's a concerning trend on social media of celebrities being named and shamed for not being sufficiently anti-Israel. There's lists going around, obviously, targets like Gal Gadot, who's Wonder Woman, who's Israeli, so obviously she's in the bad books. But a surprising number of celebrities are on this list, like Billie Eilish, who have made pro-Palestinian statements in the past or statements calling for a ceasefire. But to the activists, their statements aren't strong enough. Their condemnation, their boycotts aren't strong enough. Who else is on this list?
Yeah, I mean, you just saw Selena Gomez and Taylor Swift. Selena Gomez has absolutely gotten in trouble for some of her comments about Palestine. But I think that these are people that have all of this time to raise hell because they are unemployed. If they had jobs and had to pay real bills, they wouldn't have time to riot with George Soros's Hollywood Extras program. And for most celebrities, that status as a celebrity requires them to do jobs like tour, film, movies, TV shows, audition, and be productive-ish members of society. And so, no, Taylor Swift is not going to stop in the middle of her Eras tour and complain about what's going on in Gaza because she knows that she's got a job to do. And honestly, she might alienate a significant amount of her audience if she does that. So this just feels like people that are bored.
If you ask me, celebrities are too outspoken on political issues. I'd rather hear less from them, not more. Kinsey Schofield, thank you for your time this evening.